This is a 6-minute stretching routine for wrist pain. I'm Dr. Jared, and you can follow right along as I guide you through these stretches to increase motion and decrease pain in your wrist. Let's go ahead and let's get started with some active range of motion exercise. You're just going to pull down as far as you can, and then you're going to pull up as far as you can. And then we're going to repeat that for 30 seconds. Try to keep it in a nice, comfortable, pain-free range. Our goal with this first minute is to just get the wrist warmed up, get some synovial fluid or some joint fluid going, get the muscles warmed up. We're just trying to create a little space, keep things super comfortable in a nice pain-free range. At the 30-second mark, now we're gonna make some circles with it. So right now I'm going clockwise, and again through just as big of motion as I can, about 3 to 5 circles. And then we're gonna go back the other way, counterclockwise, about 3 to 5 big circles, just as much as you can. You might feel a couple of pops and cracks in there, just as we get things loosened up and ready for some of the other stretches that are going to be coming your way. Now, your wrist is a super dynamic joint. That means it's capable of a lot of different motion in a lot of different directions. We're certainly going to hit all of those with the stretching routine in this video. We get about a 15-second break. The next thing that we're going to do is one of my all-time favorites. We're gonna do some traction in your wrist. So I'm going to sit down, I'm going to brace my elbow against my thigh. With my other hand, I'm going to grab right here around my hand and then pull my wrist away from my forearm. So I'm pulling towards the wall and pulling in this direction over here. You can actually see as the hand and wrist kind of separate from my forearm to create a little bit of a traction in that joint. We're gonna hold that for about 20 seconds and then relax, and then we're gonna get into it again. Let's do another 20-second hold. That wrist undergoes a lot of compression throughout our day. That means our hand and our wrist is always pushing into our forearm. One of the best ways that you can relieve that pain is to do some of this traction and to just pull it away. There's another 20 seconds. Go ahead and relax. Last time. The last thing I like to show people is while you're holding that traction, what you can do is just rotate ever so slightly through your forearm. That creates a little bit of mobility in there. Most people really like the way that feels. It just feels good to just decompress those joints and just relax. And so that's our first stretching exercise. Looks just like that. Oh man, that's feeling good already. I hope you're feeling the same. Let's get into a extension stretch is going to be next. We're going to extend the hand, pull the fingers back towards you. With your other hand, we're gonna loop right around the fingers, and now I'm pulling towards me, just like that. And what you should feel here is a good stretch all through your forearm, through this side of your forearm. Those are all of your wrist flexors that we're stretching out into this extension motion. Same parameters on this. I'm gonna hold it for about 20 seconds, kind of shake it out a little bit, and then we're gonna get right back into that stretch again. Keep your elbow nice and straight, and again, I'm hooking right up here around my fingers. You've got a lot of finger flexors that originate right up here in the forearm as well. That's a great way that we can stretch all of those out. And there's our next 20 seconds, and then go ahead and just relax, kind of shake it out, and then we're gonna go one more time for 20 seconds. This is one of my favorite stretches. We follow this one up with that traction. A lot of times, like, people will come in to see me in my clinic and say, you know, it hurts when I do push-ups or when I'm, you know, bench pressing or doing a barbell overhead like a military press. This is a great way that you can kind of work some of that motion into that wrist in a nice, safe, and pain-free motion. Next, we're gonna stretch the wrist extensors. So we're gonna do that with a flexion stretch. We're gonna bring the hand down into this position. With my other hand, I'm gonna grab around the back of my hand and then keep my elbow straight as I pull my fingers towards myself. So we're gonna pull those fingers in this way just until we get just a good, comfortable stretch right here all through the back of the forearm. We're gonna hold that in a nice, comfortable position. We're gonna hold it for 20 seconds. Just about right there. Go ahead and shake it out, relax it for a second, and then we're gonna get right back into that stretch again. Stretching needs to be comfortable. I tell people all the time, if you're stretching into pain, you've pushed too far. We just need to back off of that a little bit. And there's our second 20 seconds, shake it out a little bit, and then one more time. You need to back off a little bit to the point where it's not painful. It's not the intensity of the stretch that matters, it's the consistency of the stretch. So I would rather you keep it in a pain-free range and do these multiple times throughout your day rather than push it really hard into a painful range and just do that once. That's actually causing more damage than good. We want to keep things as pain-free as possible. This last stretch is one of my favorite for this side of your wrist, the thumb side of your wrist. What I'm going to do is tuck my thumb into my hand, wrap my fingers around my thumb, and now try to pull basically my pinky side of my hand down towards the floor until I get a good stretch right through here. That thumb is a very mobile joint and it's super active in a lot of our activities. This area is really susceptible to injury as a lot of those muscles that control the thumb cross that area. There's our first 20 seconds. Relax for a second and then get back into it again. And so if you've got pain on that top part of that wrist or on that thumb part of that wrist, this is probably one of the best exercises that you can do for it. This is one of my personal favorites for sure. And we're gonna hold that for 20 seconds and then one more time for 20 seconds. There, relax and then come back into it. Now, it's always a great idea to supplement these stretches with some wrist strengthening exercises. That's a great way that you can actually take your results even further. If you're interested in some of those exercises, I totally got you covered. Check it out right here in this video. I hope this helps. I hope your wrist feels better, and we'll see you again soon.